Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian turned book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called Rise, A Girl's Struggle for More, written by Diane Floyd Boehm. This is the story of Ruby Pearl, who is a 16-year-old growing up in 1920s America in a small town in Oklahoma. She is growing up in a really interesting time because everything around her is starting to change. They're getting automobiles instead of having to ride horses everywhere. And her family is growing, but she doesn't necessarily have to get married at 16 like her mom did. And she loves to learn. She loves to do well in school. She wants to go to college, and she loves learning about everything that's happening around her. So she's a little bit ahead of her time in the fact that she has bigger ambitions than just becoming a wife and mother. So this story is a really interesting combination of nonfiction and fiction. It's written about a real person, Ruby Pearl, who's the grandmother of the author, and her real experiences growing up in 1920s America. It includes a lot of references to events of the time. So, Ruby Pearl grew up through the flu pandemic of 1918. She grew up through complications in race relations and the changing from horse and buggy to automobiles. So life is moving a lot faster now. And also the transition from courting and marrying at 16 to maybe having a boyfriend for a while that you don't get married to. So she's learning to navigate this new world. She's definitely ahead of her time. And it includes a lot of discussion of these challenging topics and also dialogue between her and other characters. You really are immersed into this time period. There's a lot of phrases and conversations that place you in the 1920s. So that's very interesting to read about. You really feel like that it's a little bit older for that reason. So not modern conversational idioms and that kind of thing, but more the things you would have heard in the 1920s. The chapters are pretty long, so as you're diving into it, you really get immersed into this world through those chapters. You see the challenges that are occurring intergenerationally, so between mom and dad who grew up in this more traditional lifestyle and then watching their kids wanting to be a little bit more progressive. And luckily mom and dad are into that and they're okay with them stretching the bounds a little bit from what they grew up with. So as this small town is growing and changing, so too is the family. And it's a really fascinating look at rural America in the 1920s and all of the things that are happening there. So if this sounds like a great fit for you, I really hope you look for it at your favorite bookstore.